Hello, my name is Shirley and welcome back for another episode of 33 as Kingdom Heaven. In previous episode we did a little bit of conquest down here, and we are going to be doing another war here shortly. We were also helping clear out some rebellion of a... Well, I suppose, did we have a defensive back with them? We do, okay. Well, fair enough. At least we helped them a little bit in there. And now our armies are heading down south again and clear out... Oh! Right, the aristocrat revolt is still in default. Well, that's alright. There's a whole lot of neutrality is declared on this war, so how long until the armies arrive? It's not that long. About a month. A bit less of that, or less than that, of course, but yeah, we'll get this war sorted out, and then we'll have at least a full state in here, and a partial state. Then we can do a war against Sokoto, and maybe take these two areas. And then we can form our colony over here in Niger, finally. And then after that, I suppose it's going to be... Well, we'll probably just speed up the rest of this area to our colony then as well. That shouldn't be too difficult. So our troops have arrived in here now, so we will be starting attacking very shortly. Right, admittedly also the private sector has taken over all the construction work right now, which is probably fine, let's be honest. Oh, we've got a plunder in here. Well, that's not good. We're still going to win the battle, mind you. I mean, we've got quite experienced troops in here. And we've got a lot more troops than they have. So it should be quite simple conquest. And there goes the revolt. Very good. Oh, so it is two different states there. Okay. I wonder. I could take on the debt again. How much do they have? It's 500,000. Okay, it's not really that bad. I could maybe even just bankroll them. It's not a lot of money that we'd have to do that. Yeah, sure. With 15.8 standard of living. That ain't too shabby, and we can get a victory down here fairly shortly by the looks of it. We'll already conquered the eastern half, and then, yeah, there we go. That's all done. So, how soon will you give up? Also, I suppose, what do we need in our market right now? We need, apparently, some man of wars. That's not really my problem, though. We need oil, we need glass, we need more engines. How's the... Actually, the big question is, how is our electricity price? Looks like it's still pretty bad in some areas. Emilia's got 33 over there. So we could maybe... Oh no, we can't afford increasing this to the... Oh, actually, is there... First of all, let's switch the railways to electric railways. Then we could probably build another power plant in here, just to be on the safe side. And then let's go ahead and switch some of these transportation things. We'll need a decent bit of transportation. We've got okay amounts available already. Actually, the iron mine already has it. What are the vineyards? I suppose we could reduce the workers in there. It might not make more profit right now. We could probably put in the irrigation there, mind you. Provide some extra. And then the wheat farms. We could go with the tractors. Reduce the labor even further. We're not going to go for the fruits because we've got way too much fruits already. So we don't really need to add into that any further. And I suppose the silk plantation is already maxed out there. Let's go for the rotary revive engine, I suppose. There we go. So that's going to allow us to have a bit more workers down here, Emilia, to fill in the gaps in the production. And I suppose that one's already a steamship, so that's fine. Although we don't need the steamers all that much. And we got one building right now underway. I suppose we could... Let's see, where do we have the motor industries again? Didn't we have some in Sicily? Yes, we do. How's the electricity price in there? It's a bit elevated. If we give a few extra levels there, we'll also go ahead and get the transportation already in there. We've got quite a bit of peasants available, but that's not a huge issue. So now that we're building things, we are losing a small amount of cash, but that's partially because the armies are still active. So I'm just going to go ahead and demobilize that. That'll get us a whole lot more money. The war support is on the negative, so we should be able to win this in due time. And losing 14.3 per week. That's a good start, I suppose. And are we still having... We are having some issues with electricity in our capital. Let's go ahead and give that another few levels as well. It's just, you know, increasing the electricity. I mean, it's already 1917, of course. We need to get electricity everywhere. And we've got a little bit of electricity everywhere, but it could be more. It definitely could be more. And the innovation is now 167. Almost 167.5. Oh, there we go. Literary rate is already 78%. Of course, we got a little bit area in here, so that probably does pull down the average a tiny bit. But we could probably live with it for the time being. Okay, I think it's about 3 more weeks, and then we'll have won the war, or maybe even less than that. Maybe. I'm not entirely sure. But soon enough, they'll probably have to give up. So what do we get? Right, wargaming is going to be done soon enough. And after that, we can... I'm hoping that we get the machine guns, because that would be pretty good. Defense in depth isn't bad either, with the siege artillery and all that. I think they... Oh, yeah, there we go. So now if we have a look at the colony, we still can't make the colony in Niger, but we are a lot closer. We've got a little bit extra infamy right now. But if we have a look at Sokoto, and especially the Houseland, that would be 20 infamy. That's a bit much right now. Plus, why is the quality of their troops? So they've got a lot of armies. This is light infantry, mobile artillery, lancers, and cannon artillery. Okay, so it's not really that bad, at least in the capital. I don't know what they have everywhere else, but I'm expecting it's not much beyond the light infantry. So what I'm probably going to do... Oh, there's rubber plantations. I'm going to go ahead and build these up. Just for the heck of it. So there's, once we form up the colony, there's at least going to be some more resource available. Oh, they're building a paper mill down here. Alright then. Oh, now we're making so much money again. Oh boy. I mean, I suppose we're paying our fair share of the construction costs, although maybe not quite enough. Oh, there's a lot of stuff in here into construction queue right now as well. Alright then. The wargaming will be done very shortly. We'll wait for the infamy to drop down a bit further. Oh, there's the wargaming. Maybe at least to... Actually, how much is Outer Houseland going to be? Also, is there... Who owns the second half of the Houseland? Ah! It's this area here. I think Houseland, if we get that one, that's already going to allow us to form the colony down here. Of course, is there going to be any... Well, there's rubber in there. There was pointed out in the comments that there would be a lot of stuff in here. And, like, I know that the... Oh, Dreadnought spreading. Okay, let's go ahead and queue that one. I knew that there is a pretty good selection of resource in Sokoto. Like, if you're playing in Africa, Sokoto, or in this region at least, Sokoto is not a bad one to start as, because they got a fairly decent size to begin with, and they are kind of the top dog in there. A bit like Shiva in Ethiopia is kind of the primary one there that you probably want to play as. Wait, why do we have Man of War still required in here? Got a frig... Why do we have a frigate there? Hold on a minute. That doesn't seem right. Let's upgrade that to destroyers. So can we... We could make the scout cruisers. Those are actually pretty decent though. Oh, but they need radios. Okay, so I can't really do those. Alright then. Well, it's gonna be at least one more in there. What about the third paper fleet? I guess what we could do is we could... push this one into... Well, that one doesn't have enough leaders either. Actually, if we send this one in, and that one in, that will get us to... Hold on a bit, did it get us to proper levels? Oh, it's moving in. Hold on a bit. Ah, right, so the army was there. No? Oh, no, it's gonna have to sail all the way down there, so it's not instantly combined. Okay, so that will give us at least extra commander there. I'm going to give this one a promotion. That will get us to 60 total, at least. We've got a whole lot more power plants still being built. That seems to be fine. We've got... Oh, we'll drop back to 5th in the Great Powers list. Oh yeah, Russia's got a little bit more prestige. Not by much. And we've got quite good economy, at least, brewing up in here, so... We still need to get another 40 or something, or let's say at least 50 million to catch up with Jing, because I'm sure that the economy will be growing. Unless they're still at war with France. Oh, they are having a bit of war in here. Oh. That's going to give us a bit of a chance to catch up. And we'll just wait for the infamy to drop a little bit further, like at least to -10. Not -10, but like to 10. And then we can do the war against Houseland. And we can probably... build up a bit of cash reserves in the meanwhile. There is a whole lot of investment pools though that we could just build up further and further. Let's go ahead and get another level in our capital. Oh, Radical Abyssinia diplomatic play. Alright then. Oh yeah, they got a bit of army there. Alright then, let's go ahead and take the big army in here. The other army has had a lot of time fighting, so let's switch it around a little bit. We'll just send in the troops. I don't think we need to bring anyone else in for this, quite frankly. Unless someone else joins in. But this is radicals. So is this Democratic Republic? Though they are definitely having a bit of the labor unions in there. Alright then. Well, our troops are on their way. Still no Suez Canal, unfortunately. Mexico offers support. Don't need support from Mexico in this war. I think I'm gonna be just fine with my own troops. Thank you very much. Oh, there's a 15.9 standard of living now, so it's almost 16. I think we might be able to get to at least 20 before the end of the game. The literary rate hasn't really increased all that much, unfortunately. Especially because we haven't been able to switch to the education law. We won't be able to switch the education law because of the state religion. But yeah, it should be a relatively simple war. As soon as our troops arrive in here, which are probably going... yeah, they're sailing around the Cape now. Or soon, anyway. So we're getting one government administration. That's in Papal Horseland. And then we'll get the rubber plantations. We are still having some... Oh, that's rubber shortage. Okay. Did we get the power plants in here? Not yet. They are going to be built, at least. I think they are currently being built, aren't they? Yes, they are. Okay. So that'll fix the electricity issues to some degree. It might not be quite sufficient. So what are we... Okay, we got all three categories in the research queue. Corporate governance is going to give us another corporation or company. So that's going to be possibly even more GDP. Growing very rapidly. Okay, so the troops are soon here. So we'll have the troops in position by the start of the war, hopefully. And what I can probably do... They don't have that great units. But this one can start advancing the front as soon as the war starts. So where do we need the naval... Oh, Romania still needs a bit. Benin does need quite a bit as well. So why are we still having these used frigates? I thought we'd already upgraded those. I'm just going to go ahead and send this one back to the HQ. Maybe that is part of the reason. Right, the war has started. And there's already the first battle. Our side is winning that. Is that actually any of my troops? No. Papal Abyssinian army is fighting that. And they're, well, they got okay quality, I suppose. It's not the best, but they've got shrapnel artillery, lancers and skirmish infantry. So, could be worse. Because my army should be advancing as well, but then we haven't started the fight yet. So it might be that we're just waiting for the... Well, the first battle to be over. Oh, there's another battle. This one's not going to go as well. Although, numbers-wise, it's actually not that bad. I'm wondering if my... Oh, yeah, we are advancing... Well, our side is advancing into the enemy side. I don't know if we are going to be the ones attacking in this next combat that is going to happen. But we've already taken some land. Oh, there we go. Yes, I am fighting in here. Well, there wasn't much of a resistance remaining in that army, admittedly. Well, there's the governance. There we go. Let's go ahead and have a look at the corporations. Or companies. I call them corporations, but I suppose the in-game term would be company. So, Papal Oil would be okay. Migration attraction would be very handy. Steel mill throughput wouldn't be too bad either. The birth rate we probably wouldn't be able to get. We got a whole lot of food industries though, so the extra throughput in there would still be kind of useful. We could take the extra army offense or formation speed. I think we're going to go with the... Honestly, we got so much iron mines and lead mines that this metal combine is probably going to be the more profitable option. We already got the coal and sulfur version. So having a little bit increase on that probably won't hurt. Right, so the small battle in the north is going to be a loss. But the one over here is definitely going to be a victory on our side. Okay, we lost a little bit ground, but yeah, that one's going to be a victory. There's a second battle. There's also going to be a victory. So at least Ethiopia or Abyssinia is in a fairly good state with their military. Like, they are dealing a lot of damage on the revolt in here. Which is definitely good news for us. And for them. Well, probably after this war, we can maybe start the war against Sokoto. Losing a little bit cash right now, but again, it's nothing too bad. And I don't suppose my army... No, my armies aren't even taking part in most of these combats, oddly enough. Or funnily enough, rather. But regardless, a victory is a victory. Oh, that's going to be a loss. Oh, we're taking all of Oromia already. And now I'm advancing into... Yeah, there we go. Into Gondar, so that will be done fairly shortly. And the losses are actually quite minimal for us, all things considered. If we have a look at the overview, our side has lost about 34,000. They had lost 47. So, okay, it's not a huge... I mean, to be fair, I'm taking mostly just attrition damage. Not a lot in combat. But that tends to be the case anyway. My armies aren't even supporting in a lot of these attacks. But I suppose there's a bit of a limit on how many battalions can take part in these combats anyway. And if our puppet or colony over here already has those slots filled, then yeah, there's not much for us to do. Ah, but we are running a bit low on construction right now. Let's have a look. What do we need? We could still use a lot more automobiles, that's for sure. More oil, more rubber, more glass, more fine art, more... Actually, more textiles. Or the clothing wouldn't be too bad either. Go ahead and give that a level. Of course, rubber is starting to be a bit of an issue. And I can't do more rubber. Of course, oh right, I suppose we did lose a bit of rubber plantation. That's 19 rubber plantations that we lost for the duration of this war. Oh boy, that is a lot. Of course, our colony will take care of those soon enough. Just going to go ahead and send this one back to the HQ. We don't need these fleets in here right now. So let me just double check the fleet. Did we finally upgrade the fleet accordingly? Maybe. Maybe finally. Oh yeah, there we go. There's an upgraded one at least. And then if we have a look at the second fleet. Yeah, no, that one's fine. Okay, so that should reduce the requirement for man of wars. Oh, and efficient construction for investment pool. Oh. Alright then, let's just go ahead and... I know that there's places like Lombardy that could use a lot more construction. So let's get another 2 construction sectors there. We'll probably go ahead and get another few in Piedmont, because I know that that could still use so much more. So that will cost us a tiny bit of money. Of course, that's partially because we've still got armies active. There we go. Now we got well, actually, we still haven't gotten to 16 standard of living, but the GDP has grown over to 163 billion now. So that's definitely on the rise. We've still got 79.1 literary rate. That has been improving. How's Malta looking like? There's not much we can do in there. There's a bit of unemployment, admittedly, but I guess there might actually be a bit of people... Well, no, they're actually migrating away from there. So there's a bit limited of what we can get from there. What's this then? Oh, okay, so first of all, Jambi is having another revolt. They're just having revolt after revolt after revolt. Southern African Peasant Revolt versus French Republic. And Australia is joining on the side of French Republic. Alright, I don't think I need to be there. And then Persia versus Portuguese Capitalist Revolt. Oh, right, Portugal. Wait, is Portugal part of Persian markets? They are. Alright then. Not what I expected. Well, this is going to be over very shortly. And then Abyssinia can take care of this mess that is going to be left behind. There we are. Right, so now that we've got that war sorted, we did reduce our infamy a decent bit. So I think Sokoto, it might be time for us to sort out our differences with the borders in here, which of course means that I want your land. And that's going to be, yeah, that's going to be a decent bit of troops in there. Of course, our troops are in fairly good quality. I suppose since one of our armies is still returning back home, just going to go ahead and mobilize this and send it already to the front line. It's a bit early to mobilize, but it takes a while to send them in there. So we are wanting to make sure that we don't lose any of this ground before our troops get there. We do have a fairly good prestige now, back to number 4. And I suppose one of the things that I could do, I can take the fleet in here. I'm going to promote that one. Make sure that we got the capacity, and I think we might go ahead and get a few more ironclads, quite frankly. That should get us to 65 flotillas total in here. That'll already be a pretty decent amount. Of course, we don't need fleets in this particular war. And I'm also going to go ahead and put in a war goal for probably the Hauserland, or maybe East Hauserland. That would be 20. What about the outer? That's only 9 infamy. Okay, I'm going to take that one. It will take us a bit higher than infamy, but that's something that we can still manage. So if we can take these 2, we can then form up the colony, and then in the next wars we can just take more land from them little by little. But that's also going to split them in 2. Actually, we might go for Niger as well. Can we afford adding that in still? Oh yeah. Basically nothing. What was the other one? That was, oh, to go to chat. Ah, right, that's not too far either. We'll let them continue colonizing in there, I suppose. We'll just take these 3. That cuts off Britain from going through this area at least. And then we can probably go ahead and clear our things like Wadai later on. And get ourselves the... Well, actually, we'd have to go through Bornu first, I reckon. Okay, so Mexico's having a bit of a revolution then. Oh, yeah, they are. Oh, no, Denmark. Okay. What are these markets? Denmark in the... I'm assuming there's a Denmark in the Mexican market. Oh, yeah, they are. Well, then Portugal in the Persian market. All sort of oddities. Right, so the enemy might have a bit of a larger numbers in here. But our troop quality is definitely higher than theirs. And what we could, of course, do... Oh, and of course, we are going to get some more friendly troops arriving in here. So it's actually not even that bad. Yeah, there's some from Abyssinia. I suppose Congo doesn't really have much of an army yet. And neither does Tripolitania and Tunis. Although those are all supporting us. Oh, what do we get in society spreading already? Ah, analysis. There we go. Let's get that underway, and then the automatic bottle blows are going to be done fairly shortly. There we are. So that would be something to help the work at the glassworks. Of course, it mostly reduces the workers needed. It doesn't increase the production, but it does require a lot of oil and tools. So I don't think we can quite afford it right now. The private sector is doing a whole lot of construction. How's the... Oh, there we go. The investment pool is actually reducing in size a little bit now. Thanks to that. Oh, thanks to us not building... Oh, electric arc process. That's quite handy. More steel. And I suppose that leads to arc welding, which is also quite handy. There was 1918. Quite a bit of warfare going on right now. Mostly in Africa, mind you. But, yeah, there's some action at least in that regard. They got 112 battalions. We got 80 battalions on our side active right now. Oh, and Oyo was leaning towards us. And now everyone's going to be declaring their neutrality, so we'll be able to... I mean, to be fair, they've got 35 defense, so it's not that huge of a situation, or that great of a situation for us. We could... There's the war. We could always potentially just bring in some more troops. Okay, they are attacking us first. Well, that's going to be an easy victory for us. Are we advancing on them? You know what, actually, I'm just going to go ahead and defend the front for now. And I'm going to activate the second army and bring that in to do the advancing. It will cost us, mind you. But that way we can guarantee to push through the enemy terrains quite easily. We're having a bit of convoy issues. I suppose we've got so many trade routes. Is there any trade routes that we don't really want to keep going? Yeah, we can probably stop that one. That one doesn't take convoys. That's a whole lot of convoys you use for selling groceries for string, and I suppose we're importing a bit of oil, but that's not really profitable. We're exporting a little bit of liquor, but that's not really profitable. The hardware isn't really profitable. It's not really saving us a lot of convoys, mind you, but it's just reducing some of the... Well, I suppose maybe a little bit on the bureaucracy cost, although probably not all that much there. Oh, there we go. Oh, is this going to be... There should be a victory. Oh, yeah, it is going to be a victory. It was just fluctuating a little bit in their prediction. But yeah, no, we're just going to wreck the enemy armies in here. If we have a look at the manpower already, they're down to 70,000. We got 50-something thousand. If we do one more set of these sort of combats, then yeah, they won't have a lot of an army to fight with. And as soon as our reinforcements arrive in here, we can start advancing quite easily with probably both of the armies, quite frankly. Yeah, down to 50,000 men. We've got about the same amount now. So maybe it would be time for us to go ahead and start advancing as soon as these battles are over. There we go. So now we are going to be taking the advantage, or initiative. Got the manpower advantage, and yeah, notice they got a lot of battalions in this combat, but the quality is worse, and we started with more manpower than they did. So it's quite obvious who's going to be winning this particular battle. And the second army is already on the front line as well. So that means there might be a second combat happening fairly shortly. Or there might not be. But regardless, we are going to have a victory in here. And then that gives us to potentially have a second army that will sort of take over the fighting every now and then. So the other... Although one of the armies that it might not be fighting, it can then regain some strength back. There we go. This should be a fairly easy fight. There we are. Already pushed a little bit in, and there's a second combat already happening. Oh, man, the enemy's really lost a lot of their manpower, hasn't it? On the armies. I mean, they are probably reinforcing slowly. Let's have a look. Is there still huge issues with electricity? It's not too bad in Lazia, at least. Is there anything that I could do with that? I suppose we don't need more peasants or less workers in here right now, so not something that I need to worry about. Locking them, we could put in chainsaws, but now that's not really needed. Could actually put the lock cards. Reduce the transportation a little bit. Speaking of which, though, we could put the electric trains. That will actually make slightly more profit. But yeah, we definitely need to get a lot more glass. And not necessarily as much porcelain. If we were to switch this to ceramics, actually, a bit less dyes are needed. A bit less shopkeepers, mind you, as well. But that will require... will provide a lot more glass. We don't necessarily want to do it everywhere, but if we do it in like some places, that might be the better option in the long run. At least until we get the plastics going. But the battle is going to be another victory here. So we'll probably get Hazeland almost fully conquered. Not quite yet, actually, but it's going fairly well. The enemies are losing a lot of their war support already. Because there's so many states that we're trying to conquer from them that we won't be able to do all of that work yet. But after this war, we'll be able to form the colony. And thus I don't need to worry about the actual state of the affairs in here. I do wonder, though, has Abyssinia started building any of the oil rigs yet? They have! Oh. Well, there we go. They also had a lot of rubber plantations in there. I suppose if there's a lot of demand, they will start building them. And thus we'll have more resource available. And of course it just, you know, makes the entire market a lot stronger. All things considered. That does remind me, though. Maybe we'll go for the... Oh, tooling workshops. Right. Machine steel tools. I think we could go for that one. It's going to increase steel quite a bit. And then put in the things in there. So we've got quite a set of... right, there's so many industries in here that are causing a bit of a mess in there right now. There we go. That's going to be another battle. So I think Hazeland is going to be almost done. And now we've got two armies advancing. Well, I suppose there's not that many enemy units available. Like, the strength is down to 11,000 men compared to 127. But as they say, there's no kill like overkill. There we go. That state is now fully conquered. Do we have... Okay, we've got some troops heading in there. They've got some troops heading in there as well. So we've split the enemy troops in half. And we're going to be able to advance on both fronts at the same time. So thus we'll wreck them even further. Agitation appears for universal suffrage. Not necessarily something we'll go for. I guess it's fine. We'll have this one conquered soon as well. So we've got almost 80% standard, or not standard, literary rate now. So that's pretty decent. And I think once we've formed up the colony in here, that might increase the average a bit further. Like this one's below average. Niger Delta, and there's a lot of other places that are over here that are below the average. I reckon as well. So yeah, that's going to be sorted out soon enough. And we're already advancing east quite nicely. In north, we are still... Well, it's going to take a little while with the combat, but that will be over soon enough. And the eastern fights are just... Yeah, they've got less than 6,000 men total in their entire army. In the north, they've got maybe a tiny bit more. They've got 4,000 now, so yeah, they're not much more than... Actually, yeah, on the east, they have more. Just a little bit. It's like a very small difference, mind you. Okay, they're not willing to take the peace deal yet. Although, next week they are. I mean, they're not getting annexed at least, so, you know. There's that. And there we are. Kingdom of Heaven controls quite a large area there, so I think now it might be time to establish the colony. So I don't need to worry about the mess that is left behind in there. There's Hazeland. Oh, the nature of administration. We'll go with the Catholic missions, as we've done with all the other colonies as well. I do actually wonder, Papal Abyssinia, can we have a look at your information in terms of population? Not directly, I don't think. I mean, suppose if we have a look at one of the states, for example, population, we can see a bit. So, there are some, actually not that much Italians in there. There's a lot of Oriental Orthodox, there are some Sunnis and animists, but not a lot of Catholics. I guess it's, you know, still better than nothing. But with that, unfortunately, we are out of time for this episode. So if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, the links down below in the description. But other than that, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, bye-bye.